This tutorial focuses on the instructional design components of INACOL standards for quality online courses. Section B, Instructional Design, has 11 standards with 5 strands: Instructional and Audience Analysis, Course Unit and Lesson Design, Instructional Strategies and Activities, Communication and Interaction, and Resources and Materials. 3 of these standards are reviewed only by CLearn Central. The first strand, Instructional and Audience Analysis, contains 1 standard. Standard B1 states that course design reflects a clear understanding of all students' needs and incorporates varied ways to learn and master the curriculum. Because of your experience reviewing the content standards, we don't ask publishers for a description or location to verify this standard. The consideration asks that you verify that a standard of instruction and assessment methods, materials, and assessments are used throughout the course. We're not looking for a specific number of activities or a minimum variety of methods or assessments. While there's no magic number, a course that consists primarily of lecture, reading, and multiple choice tests will receive a not met for this standard. So there's no magic number. We just don't want to see lecture and multiple choice. The first partially met comment, additional instructional or assessment methods which strengthen this course, may be modified depending upon circumstances. The second comment is not only more specific, but includes possible advice. The second strand, Course Unit and Lesson Design, has 1 standard. Standard B2, Course Organization, tends to be an easy and quick standard to verify. Because of this, we don't ask publishers for description or location. This standard asks if the course is organized by units and lessons that fall into a logical sequence. Units and lessons should have an overview that describes the objectives, activities, assignments, assessments, and resources. In the consideration, we highlighted the importance that a course overview is posted and that a variety of activities, assignments, assessments, and resources are used. Only courses that are not logically organized will receive a not met for this standard. One possible partially met comment is that some lesson overviews are missing and that overview descriptions could provide more information. You may select from these or customize either for your situation. The Instructional Strategies and Activities strand has 5 standards beginning with B3, perhaps one of the most important standards we review. Standards B3 and B5, both power standards, are the 2 most important standards in this review because they indicate which courses are fairly flat and linear and which are engaging, interactive, and challenging. Is the course composed mostly of text and multiple choice tests? Or are students challenged to interact with a variety of media as well as with each other? With Power Standard B3, you're evaluating whether instruction includes activities that engage students in active learning. The consideration adds that the course should provide multiple opportunities for students to be actively engaged in the content. These could include, but are not limited to, authentic learning experiences, collaborative learning groups, student-to-student interaction, analysis, and discussion. You're not expecting all of these to be present, but for the course to have a variety of activities that provide meaningful engagement. Be reminded that a course that is primarily composed of reading and watching activities is not supporting active engagement. Because you view the entire scope of the class when vetting the content standards, we don't require the publisher to provide a description or location. While some CLearn reviewed courses have failed B3, publishers are constantly updating their course to be more engaging. Still, if a course only provides reading and watching resources, Standard B3 will be not met. In some cases, you may find a few engaging activities, but find they're infrequently provided. Comment number 1 adds that the course includes some activities that engage students in active learning. Comment number 2 is an extension and may be modified. It was designed for courses that have a few engaging resources, but have presentations that could be more dynamic if they included audio. Power Standard B4, Multiple Learning Paths, deals with providing a variety of ways students may complete assignments. It also deals with what happens when students take formative assessments. If students have difficulty completing an assignment, is there an alternative path? When students take a formative assessment, is instruction customized based upon the results? As you practice the course, take a formative assessment and answer all the questions incorrectly. Does the course just move you to the next lesson? Or does it reteach you the concepts you missed? The consideration asks if students are given a variety of activities, assignments, assessments, and resources to allow them to successfully master the content. If they're having difficulty, are there alternative assignments, materials, or suggestions to provide remediation, either within the course or from the instructor? Some courses will meet the standard by providing alternative materials to the instructor within the learning management system. Other courses will provide a variety of assignments to students, allowing them to select among them. Publishers provide both a description and either the location or URL where we can find the additional learning materials. We provide you a variety of possible comments if standard B4 is partially met. Select among these, or customize one to provide any comment. Next to standard B3, Power Standard B5 is a critical component of a high-quality online course. While standard B3 asks if students are actively engaged, B5 asks how they are engaged. This standard asks if the course provides opportunities for students to engage in higher-order thinking. The consideration directs you to the assignments, activities, and assessments and determine whether they challenge students beyond knowledge and comprehension. Specifically, do students mostly read and repeat? Are they listening and reading followed by completing assignments and assessments that only ask them to remember? If so, this standard is not met. The publisher provides a URL or location where we can find evidence, so make sure you balance this against your course experience. You may need to return to a unit to verify an activity. Primarily, do the activities and assessments challenge students to evaluate, analyze, create, collaborate, or synthesize? During our first 200 course reviews, some courses have excelled at providing challenging assignments with a variety of higher-order thinking skills. Some, though, have focused only in knowledge and comprehension work. Many, though, fall somewhere in between. In those cases, our partially meets comment states some activities engage students in higher-order thinking skills. Standard B6, Adapting Content, focuses on whether instructors have the ability to adapt learning activities to accommodate student needs. Publishers will provide you with either the URL or location where you can verify the standard. However, you will need to carefully check their evidence. Standard B6's consideration simply states that the instructor has access to add content to the course with the ability to add assignments, resources, and activities. Our expectation is that the instructor has the ability to add these components within the learning management system. Instructors should not have the ability to remove publisher content, though. The ability to add discussion prompts to a chat area does not satisfy this standard. For B6 to be fully met, instructors must have the ability to add content, assignments, or assessments, so you'll need to enter the instructor side of the learning management system to verify access. Our suggested partially meet comment is for those situations in situations where instructors have limited access. Standard B7, Readability, expects that the course's readability and written assignments are appropriate for the course and grade level expectations. Because reviewers are the best judge, we don't ask publishers for description or location. As we vet this standard, consider whether the course content is written at the appropriate readability levels for the students taking the course. While the majority of courses fully meet this standard, we've encountered a variety that are either written too high or too low for students. It's possible that we'll find either that the readability levels or assignment requirements are either too difficult or too easy. Because of this, feel free to modify this partially met comment. The Communication and Interaction strand has 3 standards, all of which are verified by CLearn Central. Standard B8, which is verified by CLearn Central, is concerned with instructor-student interactions. The standard asks if the course provides opportunities for appropriate instructor-student interaction and if there's timely and frequent feedback about student progress. Publishers provide both the description of the interaction opportunities as well as the URL or location where these can be found. The consideration asks that you look at the learning activities and determine whether some foster instructor-student interactions. Standard B8 verification includes both automatic feedback from assessments as well as instructor feedback. Because we can't observe live teacher-student interactions, you may utilize the syllabus information. The partially met comment includes that feedback is infrequent or that feedback could be more detailed. The primary purpose of Standard B9, confirming active participation, is that the course and instructor confirm student engagement during the first week of the course. This is to ensure that students are participating in lessons, are progressing through the course, and are not having difficulties. The key word in the standard is that these activities check student progress are explicit. Publishers provide both the description and the URL or location where we can verify these activities. The consideration simply expects that instructor-student interactions begin early enough in the course to confirm active participation by students. To CLearn, early enough means the first week of the course. Standard B9 is fully met if you find an activity that causes the student to engage with the instructor or with other students during the first week. Directions to the instructor by the publisher about how to determine engagement during the first week and how to address non-responsive students would also meet this standard. If the evidence is weak, though, your partially met comment will be a variation of there are limited communication or limited activities that confirm students are engaged and progressing. Power Standard B10, Opportunities for Interaction, is vetted by CLearn Central. B10 expects that courses provide opportunities for instructor-student and student-student interaction. The consideration provides a variety of possible examples, including email, discussions, synchronous chats, simulations, lab activities, and group projects. To direct us to these resources, publishers provide both a description and a URL or location where we can find them. However, in order for the standard to be fully met, CLearn must find at least 3 types of interaction activities or 2 types to be partially met. Partially met comments include that there are limited opportunities for student-student or teacher-student interaction are present. If the course provides the vehicles for the interactions but not the specific activities, example number 2 states that student-student interactions may take place within threaded discussions or chat, but the course doesn't provide specific opportunities. Interaction, assignments, and activities are instructor-driven. The final strand of this section, Resources and Materials, contains one standard. The final, Section B standard, Tools and Resources, asks if students have access to resources that enrich course content. The consideration expectation is that you'll find a wide variety of supplemental tools and resources within the learning management system. However, the quantity and variety of resources provided will vary by subject and course. Mathematics and science courses require more supplemental resources than English language arts or history courses. The publisher provides you both the description of the supplemental resources as well as the URL or location where they can be found. The primary question to ask is if there were any extra resources. If there are, this standard is either met or partially met. If you find minimal resources and you believe the subject matter should have included more, your partially met comment is that some supplemental resources are available. This concludes the CLearn tutorial on Section B, Instructional Design.